Aboriginal leader Jay Walton is fighting to change the date of Australia Day and the flag, and is calling it a breach of human rights. Warren Mundine has labelled those trying to boycott the day as haters of Australians and haters of Australia. Both men join me now, and I am genuinely so grateful to them both for doing so. Thank you, gentlemen. Really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Erin.
And both clearly have opposing views, so let's get stuck in and find out why. Jay, I'll start with you. Why do you want the date and the flag changed?
First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I'm on, the Bundjalung people, and pay my respects to the elders past, emerging and present. And I think that's something that Warren needs to be mindful of, is respecting elders who have passed and fallen in the name of the conquest of this country, which is what this is about. Also, I don't claim to be an Aboriginal leader. I'm an Aboriginal person speaking out about something that I believe in. So to get to where I come from is basically there's a lot of attention going around Australia Day and changing the date here, which I support for reasons we'll get into shortly. But the bigger topic that we should all be talking about is every day that the Union Jack is on our flag, Indigenous people are not represented and don't feel connected to our flag, which creates three separate divisions within one nation instead of harmony over a flag that should be celebrated because everybody's included.
So Jay, you say Indigenous people don't feel included in that. I guess what I'm saying is that's how you feel, but Warren, does he speak for all Indigenous
That's
Australians?
not just how I feel.
No, I understand
No,
that.
I don't.
There's
I don't
absolutely...
speak.
No, I mean...
And neither does Warren.
No, absolutely not, of course, but you just said Indigenous Australians feel that way, and I'm saying you do, and I know a lot of others do, but not all is my point, and Warren will, I guess,
No, I'm not claiming that I
now.
speak on... No, I definitely don't speak on behalf of all people, just like Warren does. We've both got our own opinions, and everybody's entitled to their own, but the people that I talk to, the people that I associate with, and I didn't just go out on this blindly with my head in clouds on my own objective here. I've spoken to a lot of Indigenous mates about this to see how they feel about it.
Yep.
And every single mate, not just Indigenous friends, but Australian friends that also want to get on with it, like you, Erin, that want to celebrate Australia Day, and I know you do too, Warren. We're all on the same page there. Everybody wants to celebrate Australia. I love a party. I love a day off. Let's get on with it. But how can we cohesively have a party together with our Indigenous friends? Now, you might not be offended by it, Warren, but I know that you know people, and I know people, including myself, including members of my family, who've got pain around it because this country was settled on this day on 1788 with no permission, no invite from Indigenous people, and for hundreds of years, thousands of mob were murdered in the conquest of settling this country. And that there, every day, not just on Australia Day, is a painful reminder to the Indigenous who have got the heartstrings and the compassion and the emotional intelligence, not just Indigenous people, Australian people who have decided that we're not comfortable celebrating being Australian on this day, Jay, because of how it feels for Indigenous Australians.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to have to go to Warren now for a chance, but thank you so much for sharing all of that. Warren, what's your response?
Oh, it's a very simple response. You know, he said, he sort of insulted me at the beginning, but I'll move on from that because you know, I'm a bigger man than him, and I actually been an Aboriginal all my life. I was brought up as an Aboriginal, and my family are all Aboriginals, and we knew who we are. We were taught our culture, and we had been taught about our lives and that. But the funny thing is, he didn't do his homework, because if he would have read any of my writings, I'm a change the date bloke, and all this week in every interview, I said, change the date. So he's picking a fight for nothing. I've always said that, and have been saying, look, I listen to you, you listen to me. You know, you talk about respecting, you talking about respecting Aboriginal people, well, show some respect. So in this top period, you know, so we actually agree. This is the funny part. We actually agree. I don't know what he's getting hot under the collar about.
I think potentially, Warren, the fact that you're saying, though, that those who are trying to stop us celebrating today, whilst it hasn't been changed, need to stop doing so. You say that they're haters and they're losers.
People have their point of view, and they have a right to their point of view, and they should be able to prosecute their right of their point of view. What I'm saying is, in this whole process lately with the corporates, for instance, like what the hell have the corporates got to do with what we want to do as Aboriginal people? and what we want to do and celebrate in that. Now, we're getting to the bizarre situations. I want to celebrate Australia Day. I want to change the date of that day, right? 20 years I've been doing this, not 20 minutes or just turning up now. I've been doing it for more than 20, 30, 40 years. Now, so my argument now is it's become quite clear to me that there is a small cohort of people, and now the corporates, who don't want us to celebrate Australia Day, whether it's on whatever day it is. They don't want us to celebrate it, and they haven't learnt their lesson. You know, last year we had a referendum where the Australian people had a chance to voice, and over 60% of them rejected the voice to Parliament, and now we've got 67% of Australians, which I don't agree with this one, who want to keep on celebrating on the 26th of February. Now, it's about time these corporates stop lecturing to us, stop thinking that they're the font of all knowledge, and actually started listening to their customers and their staff. Now, when they talked about a boycott of Woolworths, I didn't support that, and I said the reasons why, because I know more than 60% of the staff at Woolworths do not support what the board and the management of that company are saying. And so I didn't want to see them suffer in regard to their jobs or anything, while these smart asses sitting on the board and the senior management were making them suffer. I've changed my mind in the last 24 hours because it's become quite obvious to me that these corporates couldn't give us stuff. All they want to do is their viewpoint, ram it down our throats, and rather than having people sit there, especially people like my fellow Aboriginal over there on the other side, to able to talk and prosecute the case and have a sensible, mature conversation. And this is becoming very vitriolic, and I think we need to step back and cool down about it.
There's a lot of vitriol, you're right. Jay, I want to come over to you and ask about the corporate side of things. Do you think that the corporates are doing this legitimately because they believe in it, or are they looking to kind of score points, or are they looking to try and get ahead of a trend? Do you think it's genuine?
To be honest, I think there is a genuine, I work with corporate Australia every day in Indigenous business, and I see a genuine commitment from corporates trying to understand and integrate with Indigenous people and Indigenous business people and try to understand what healing needs to happen. Now, in part, I do agree with some of the things that Warren just said then, but I don't think that they're out of touch with their customers. And to be honest with you, I think the reason that it got a 64 to 80% vote on the no was his interference with disinformation about thinking that
that's a lie.
Most of
we did
Indigenous
not lie.
Australia.
That is a lie.
No, because
I'm not
the amount of people that I know who were really upset with your opinions. I'm not going to sit here and listen to you lie. Asked me to let you talk.
Name the disinformation that we put out there. We've said this 100 times.
You said the other day, 3 days ago on Sky News, that people
and the Australian people are not mugs. They are not stupid. They know how. They're a very sensible group of people, the Australian people out there. And my prediction is that the Labor Party is not going to be in power forever, and I can predict that when the coalition come into power, that these companies are going. We're going to be looking at these companies and the way they've been acting, the way they've been forcing their viewpoints on the Australian public,
about them having
and the way they've been hating
and listening to some people about
and hating Australia. And it's about they can't even say it. They can't even say Australia. They can't even say these people. I've got 50 years in the business community. I've dealt with these people for over that period of time. And I can tell you that these people now are coming out, and there's nothing good they can say about this country. Nothing good. And
you just said that you changed your mind in the last 24 hours.
They actually cleaned up their act, stopped telling us what to do, leave the space open so that other people, the Aboriginal people out there, the Torres Strait Islander people out there, and the Australian people can sit down and have a sensible conversation which is mature, without the lies, without the bullying, and without the threats. I know staff who ring me every day and they're petrified in their jobs because they think their bosses are going to sack them because they don't agree with what management and the board are saying. Now, we celebrate this incredible multicultural country. We do Diwali, we do Eid, we do Chinese New Year, we do all these wonderful, wonderful things. We enjoy NAIDOC Week, we enjoy all this stuff, and we talk about the wrongs and the good things and the bad things and the history, and we talk about all this stuff together. I've come to this conclusion that these corporates are just haters.
Okay.
They hate Australia.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to leave it there. Jay, just 30 seconds to finish on.
Yeah, look, obviously him and I don't agree on this, but what it comes down to is a lot of my Indigenous friends feel no connection to this flag. This is why these 3 flags are here. This is what I'm campaigning for, healing hearts and healing country by opening up a conversation about why the flag doesn't represent a lot of Australian people, not just Indigenous Australians. 8 years ago, Western Sydney University had a survey, 64% of Australians supported changing the flag. Canada changed their flag. We're one of 5 countries of the Commonwealth out of 56 countries that have a Union Jack on their flag. Why, when it represents so much disrespect to so many people in this country?
Okay, Jay, I want to thank you very much.
Before you go, I've got one last comment. My last comment is don't verbalise me. I did not talk about the flag today.
Okay, and also thank you both for coming on. Thank you for being passionate. Warren, you are not washed up. Jay, I didn't like that insult, but I thank you for being passionate about what you both believe in. And I
like to say, Jay, I'm a Bundjalung man. I was born a Bundjalung man. I grew up in the Bundjalung community, and I'm a man of eldership. So when you talk about eldership, have a bit more respect. I didn't insult you at the beginning. I didn't insult you at all. So you did.
A lot of what I hear you say sounds incredibly disrespectful.
Do not insult people.
We'll have to leave it there. Thank you both.
I'm calm.
Thank you very much. Warren, Jay, really appreciate you guys. I know this is very passionate about. Thank you so much.